Hello everybody, I'm going to do a tutorial here on how to weight paint different hair lengths using Blender's hair particle system and weight paint system in Blender. We're going to start with just a brand new file, nothing else. I'm going to delete this light, we don't need that, we don't need the camera, not for this. I'm going to keep the cube, most people delete it, I'm going to keep it. Going to add a modifier, right, little wrench, go to add a modifier, subdivision surface. Boom. Going to increase it, the subdivisions to 3, because the more vertices we have, the more control we will have when we come to weight painting. I'm going to go down here to this little like upside down triangle, go to vertex groups, going to hit this little plus button where it says vertex groups here. Boom, group. I'm going to call this, you can rename these groups by double clicking, and I'm going to rename it to hair location. The name doesn't really matter, but just to keep things organized, I'm going to put hair location. So this vertex group is going to save basically where I want the hair to go on my circle. Because if you're familiar with the particle system, so if you go to particle system, right underneath that little wrench there, particles, right? The plus sign, we go to hair, and oh, there's hair everywhere. I don't want hair everywhere. I only want hair on the top of my little sphere's head. Like, so he has a little head of hair. I'm going to try to make a little mohawk for this guy. But I do not want the hair everywhere. So how can I fix that? Well, in this little vertex group that we just made, this is going to control where we want the hair. So with that selected, go to edit mode. Why don't they get that? Hair selected, go to, yeah, you can just go right to weight paint mode. So hair selected, top left, go to weight paint mode, right? And then if you have top view, I like going to top view for this. Or you can also just paint wherever you want. But I'm going to go to top view because I want the hair to be on top of my head. By pressing 7 on the number keypad. I don't know what it is on other devices. I'm sorry. I only have PC. And only have the extended keyboard. So, I mean, you could also just like use your mouse or trackpad to go up. But anyway, on the paint top of my head. Something like this. I don't need to be too, I mean, my weight's so weak. Oh, well, no, because I was practicing this tutorial. That's why it's weak. And I want this nice red spot on top of my dude's head. Right? Okay, little sphere there. Has a little red dot. And you're like, wow, that did absolutely nothing. This tutorial is garbage and I am leaving. Don't do that yet because we're not done. So we have to go. So that's saved into the hair location, even though it doesn't look like it. It is. This weight paint that we just did is saved in the hair location. And weight paint also, I didn't explain this, but you can adjust your radius size of your cursor. F if you're on PC. I don't know if you're, what else it is on. And the strength like I just did there. And you can just paint. You can paint, usually paint for, if you want like a full value. Red is like 1 and then blue is like 0. And 1 means that you're going to place hair there, and 0 means you're not going to have hair there. So blue means no hair, red means hair. So red is where I want the hair, blue, no hair. I'm sorry, I'm explaining this horribly. This is my first tutorial. So boom, we have that there. Okay, so then we go back to the particle system, because you're like, well, that did nothing. And if we go down in the hair, we have hair.mx render, viewport display, but we scroll down, vertex group. It's by the force fields and the textures. Those force fields are cool. It's by the force fields. And then you'll see this little thing here called density. And also, if you notice by that density, there's this little icon. Looks kind of like a honeycomb. That's what it kind of reminds me of, at least. And if we go back to our vertex groups, it has that same symbol by hair location. So go to particles, density, click on that little icon. Hey, hair location. Look at this. we controlled the hair. And it might not be perfect because it still is going to those like light blue spots. But if you don't want it there, you can just control click, at least for PC, to kind of like erase, to do the opposite of weight painting. So if you want to apply paint, you just click normally. But if you want to remove it, you can control click and it goes away. I don't know what it is for other computers. I am sorry. Or other software stuff. I only know PC. I apologize. You can look up control keys on Google. It probably shouldn't be hard to find. And so yeah, boom, we controlled the hair. And I'm going to, in the hair settings, I'm going to decrease that hair length because that hair length is pretty big. Okay, something like that should be fine. But I want to make a mohawk, and mohawks like have long hair in the middle and like on the sides it's like shorter. So how do I do that? First things first, I can go make another vertex group, right? Boom, hair length. And I'm just going to paint the spots where I want the hair to be long and where I want the hair to be short. So long hair is going to be in red, right? So I want long hair to be in red. And I want to decrease the screen for this. I want like short hair to be in like a light blue maybe. So something like this. So that's kind of where I want my mohawk. But like, as you can see, is not working. So go to particles. Let's see if they got, oh yes, would you look at that? They have a little group called length. So we just plug our hair length in there and boom. Okay, the mohawk is still pretty big. I'm gonna lower that a little bit. There we go. So using control click, I was able to shrink that down a bit to, well, I mean, maybe I use a bit more mohawk, but it works. It gets the point across too. And so yeah, using vertex groups and plugging it into the density, into the length factor, I was able to create this little mohawk dude. Alrighty, Future Farron coming in here for a second. Yeah, no, I don't think I did the hair length justice. Explaining that. I think I could do that a little bit better. So if you go to weight paint, we had that weight paint that I painted there. And so you might be wondering like more about like why it does this. Like why are the shorter hairs in the lighter blue and the longer hairs in the darker red? Well, that is because, so like a full length of hair, so like if it's like flashed red, right? So a full length of hair is like considered a value of 1, right? So it assigns 1 to that vertices, like this vertices here is like 1. And that means on that vertices, it's going to place the longest hair possible, right? Well, like on down here, this has a vertices, this has a value of 0. That's what the blue means. Blue means 0 and red means 1. I think it's that or it's flipped. Either way, it's like the same thing. Like the point is 1 is one value, 1's the other value, the opposite value. So this is 1 and this is 0. So when it comes to like this light blue right there, so that's like, if there's, or like that green, it could be like a 0.5. And so since a 1 is a full length of hair, a 0.5, right, will be a half a length of hair, right? Or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact value of that there, but that's basically what those lighter color means, like the lighter green and the light blue. So light blue might be like 0.25 and the green might be like 0.5 and the yellow might be 0.75. But anywhere from like 0 to 1. Yeah, and so that's essentially why those hair lengths differ, is because of that value that you sent with the weight paint. You're probably like, why are we doing math? This is just painting. But that's like, to understand that, it can give you just at least a better idea, or make you more confused, depending if you like math or not. For me, I like thinking of it like in math, but if you just like the colors too, I mean, I kind of like the colors. This is pretty straightforward. If I had to see numbers as I was painting this, that would be, so like, but just the more math behind it. If you want to know, if you didn't want to know, I'm sorry, I wasted your time. Back to the video. I do apologize if I'm not doing the best. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll try to do my best to answer them. But yeah, that's essentially how you get like shorter hair and long hair, like on like the same thing, and while controlling the hair on the mesh where you want it. So it's pretty nice. And just to make it look kind of more poofy, I'm going to give this one some children, right? So adding children adds more like puffiness to it. And if we go to render mode, which we don't want to go to because it's going to look horrendous, but I'm just going to give this like a sky texture, I guess. And that still doesn't look any better. Oh, because I'm on Eevee, but that do anything? Nah, not really. Yeah, and that's pretty much about it. Nice, quick, easy, kinda ish. Yeah. I'm still learning a whole lot about the hair particle system in Blender, so I don't know a whole ton about it. But I know somebody did comment asking about like, hey, like a more specific tutorial on how to do that. And I hope this helps explain how at least I got to this far. How to make the hair actually look nice and like putting it together. not sure. But if you already know how to put the hair nice together and you just needed questions with the vertex groups, I hope I helped you there. And yeah, that's going to be it. This is my first tutorial, so please don't hate on me too much. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and see you next time.